Hello everyone, today we are going over stacks today, focusing on our practice problem to build a stack within an array, and without any further hesitation, let's get started. And now let's go over our practice problem. So we're given the task to implement a stack using an array, and then after we have already completed our array, we will then use a linked list to be able to create a stack. For stacks can be made from either an array or linked list. And we will perform the following operations. One, we're going to push an element onto the stack. Second, we're going to pop an element from the stack. Third, we're going to peek at the top element of the stack. And finally, we're going to check if the stack is empty for when we are constructing a stack using an array as well as a linked list. So first things first, we are going to make our stack using an array. And so the way we are going to be doing this, first and foremost, and as usual, must include our libraries, which should be include iOS stream, depending on what code editor you're also working with, and then using namespace std. And I'm going to be creating a class called stack that will be called publicly. And we're going to have an integer called top, and a constant static int called max size. I'm going to make this 3 since we're going to put in 3 different elements inside the stack, an integer of array. And we're going to use max sizes because arrays are used in a fixed sized setting. Let's put this right here. Then I'm going to create a public instance for stack. We're going to initialize, and then we'll do top -1 because arrays always start with 0. Are indexed at 0. That's the best way of putting it. Let's see if I can just move this over a bit. Okay, we're good. Now we're going to focus on pushing, popping, and peeking at the stack, and then check if empty. So what we will be doing in order to push is I'm going to have a Boolean condition called push, and I'm going to have an integer. Let's call this x. That we will be creating through our Boolean. And then we're going to have condition statements. So since we have an element called top already, if top is greater than or equal to the max size of the following array -1, then we will indicate a stack overflow. And finally we will return false. And else, in this case, that means that we can add on to the stack, and this part is really crucial. So sometimes whenever there are additional operators or decrement operators as well, people would typically operate like this, but in this case, since we're dealing with a stack, we are going to be doing it this way because pushing elements into a stack, again, is like a stack of plates. You start from the bottom and you work your way up. And I'm going to redeclare that as x, and then return true. So that's a Boolean condition, and then it will make the following actions of when to add an element. I'm gonna fix this actually. There we go. And the next part we're going to be doing is popping. So we will be actually using an integer, not a Boolean in this case. So just showing a different technique because we are popping a specific element from the stack. And so what we'll be doing is that we are going to be checking if the top is less than 0. That means that there will be a stack overflow as well, since there are technically no elements to be able to pop. But in this case, it's called a stack underflow. No elements to pop. And we return 0 since in a similar construct with what we have for the Boolean condition as well as the int. In this case, we will return 0, but Boolean conditions return true and false in that case. Then otherwise what we will be doing is that we are going to redeclare x to be this part, where we'll have array and we'll decrement there, because whenever we are decrementing, again, as mentioned before, stacks are like a series of plates. Whenever you are deleting something from the stack, you take it directly from the top, and we decrement accordingly like this, versus pushing, where we're doing it in this format as well. And then we're going to return x. There we go, and then we will be peaking. What we'll be doing the same thing that we did with the pop, as well as taking elements from the Boolean condition as well, where we will be returning 0 and then returning the exact element as well. So what we will be doing is this int peak, since we're going for a specific element that we have, if the top is less than 0, we're going to output stack is empty. And we always settle with our edge cases as well, and L, return 0, and then else. We're going to return the specific element at the top. For we're not altering or anything else, we're just getting the info really. And then finally we're going to check to see if it's empty, so that means we will be doing a Boolean condition is empty. We're going to initialize that function, and then we will be returning the top if it's less than 0. That means it's true. It's empty. For whenever we have an array, arrays always start with 0. But if it's less than, then therefore we know it's empty. Now, to be able to test this bad boy, what I'm going to be doing is that we're going to have our main function that we have over here, and then I'm going to declare our class that we have, a stack, and then we'll have stack over here. I'm going to stack push, let's say 10, for instance, that's the specific element right here, then 20, then 30, and then what I'll be doing is that we'll be outputting, let's pop from the stack first. I'm going to be, I'll just indicate. So we are pushing, push into stack. We already pushed the elements, pop from the stack, and then we will be peeking from the stack and check if element is empty. Just to combine two birds with one stone, really. So stack.peak. Our element at the top. Sorry about that. So we're going to be popping from the stack. Stack.pop right over here. There we are. And it should pop actually 30. Then we're going to peek for the updated. Peak should be 20 since we popped directly from the stack, and then we're going to peek. Elements in the stack. Now, this is the part where we're going to be using our is empty. So while the stack is not empty, hence the exclamation mark over here, we're going to output count stack.peak. In total, and finally we're going to stack.pop to empty out all of the rest and return 0. also going to have this in the comments as well. Let's just run this. There we go. So we pop directly from the stack that we have up here. 20 is our element at the top, therefore, after we have checked our popped stack, and the elements in the stack in general are going to be 20 and 10 all together. And this pop is not technically needed in particular, because then it's just going to have 10. So we can just run this entire program as well. Yep, updated stack. Stack is empty, as it's already indicated after we peaked, and it calls upon this. There we go, that makes sense. And yeah, this was the stacks for built off from an array. So let me just zoom out. There we go. This is the full look over here, and I'll have this in the comments as well. Hey everyone, thank you again for taking time to watch this video. If you found this video helpful, be sure and feel free to please like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions as well, feel free to put it in the comment section. And as always, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.